Hey everyone, this is Ticker the Trader, and I am here on my first live stream to show you my new trend indicator here called the Polaris Trend Indicator. All of my stock market analysis will be based off of this particular indicator on TradingView. Go over into the description of this video and basically see what this is about, how it works, what the inputs are. Over here in this author's instructions, you can get a subscription, $29 a month. But basically, what I am inviting you to do is try this indicator and never lose again. I don't like seeing people lose in the stock market. I don't like losing in the stock market. And this particular indicator, as I'll show you in my live analysis every day, it will keep you from losing in the market. It will keep you patient, it will keep you ready, it will keep you agile, and it will have you hold your trades. But over here, as you can see, the way that this indicator works right here is when the arrows issue in the green, you will see a column and a green arrow, and that will be a buy signal. And when they issue red, like down here, you will see that this right here will signify a sell. And it's all based off of momentum. You'll never, ever lose. If you look and eyeball this, I highly implore you to get this indicator and then just back test it for yourself. But you get a sell signal up here in the SPY on February 20th, and look at all this downward pressure here. All of these columns that were issued were a major sell-off, right? So you could have rode this all the way down here and took your profits here, and there you go. It would have been a 3% win on the trade if you were shorting the market. But if you were to follow all of these, ultimately, you would still be in a short at this point, but we're about 9% down. So you wouldn't have been fooled, especially if you were looking at the daily view. You could see that this run was a significant one. So I know I don't have any followers right now, and this is a live stream, so this is open for everyone to comment moving forward. But this also works in the bull market as well. We can measure this out on a daily time frame. You got a green candled column issued on Wednesday, January 15th. You could have bought into this at the open and then sold right up here for a 1.78% win. And then even if you go back here, you could have made other trades back here that were equally as significant, where this was more like a 5%. So if you're an options trader or a regular trader, the Polaris Trend Indicator is a great tool for your arsenal. So how do I like to use this? I like to go to the weekly view. I like to know what my trend is, where we're going, what is the market doing. And as you can see on a weekly time frame and a monthly, the trend is down. We have a solid red column here on the weekly. We have a number of red columns right here. And to be totally honest with you, if you were a long-time investor and just wanted to, put your 401k on the sidelines, or if you're just holding shares in something, especially SPY, you would have taken off all of your shares or put them over to the side on February 18th. We are technically in March. It's March 18th now, and the market has gone down ever since. And that's been that was an 8.21% move to the downside. So yeah, this is basically how this trend indicator works. It is a can't miss, especially if you are following the market. But anyway, let's move into the stock analysis. Right now, the market's about to close. We have important data coming out tomorrow morning, and we want to make sure that we are in a position where we are not over leveraging ourselves, because of the market. Even though we've had a big sell-off here, the cheap can always get cheaper. And I don't want you to leverage all of your money because you think the market's going to go up and rip. There is plenty of downside to be had. And what I like to do right now, as I said before, with the Polaris Trend Indicator, I like to look at the weekly view, see that we're going down, the columns are building. You do not want to enter a bullish trade until we get a confirmation, which is a green arrow up and a green column going up as well too, above the 0 line here. So I would advise that currently, if you are not in a trade, or if you are in a trade, this might be a good time to get out and wait for confirmation. So on a daily, we're issuing a red column here. We are not building any positive momentum. So I would say currently, if you are in at a very low price and you bought at the bottom, this would be a hold. And if you are not in the market currently right now, I would say, based off of the daily candle that was issued today, I would say let's wait and see how tomorrow goes, because if it's a face rip move up to all-time highs, then let's take that move during market hours. Let's not leverage all of our money right now and lose in overnight trading or when the market gaps down in the morning. So let's be patient. There's no need to rush any trades and get into this. QQQ, let's move over to QQQ. QQQ is looking the same here. We're going to start off at the weekly. We know that we see all this negative momentum here. We are moving down right here. Daily, same thing. We're moving down. We just got 2 days of bullish momentum moving up. And now we are going to move down. So, TLT, bonds. A lot of people are putting their money here because they want to make sure that they are leveraging. If the market is going to go down, TLT, the 20-year bond, those will most likely go up. And we've seen that. I personally purchased bonds at 89.50, somewhere around here. I took my trade off up here, as you can see. I was risking it a little bit because there was definitely some negative columns, but I definitely put my money in here, took off at about 93.88 when I saw that. I re-entered my position in the middle of this candle somewhere, and I'm still currently holding. So that is my current TLT position, but I am looking for more upside momentum here if the news is negative. TNA is in a really, really great spot right now. Weekly is showing a bit of fatigue here. As you can see, the columns are getting a little bit smaller. You still don't want to enter on the weekly, but according to the daily, we're moving up. We've hit one of my zones right here, in which I think is a buy zone. This is a severely discounted area, $29 to $28.50, somewhere in this zone right here. You can either wait for tomorrow, see if it retraces, but ultimately it's looking like TNA is going to move up a little bit. We will see, though, in the morning, but I would say this is a hold if you bought at the lows, and let's see where the market goes tomorrow morning. Tesla, same thing. Tesla is looking very, very bearish. I honestly think, and I'm going to remove this right here, but I honestly believe that anywhere in this zone right here, from $228 to $179 is a very attractive zone to start dollar cost averaging in. I think this thing can get into the high 100s, like 170, 168, somewhere in this zone. So I would stay patient on this. This is a weekly chart, so obviously we're still showing strong momentum going down. But daily right here, we're still pumping down. We're about to break structure here too, because this is the current low, like 219.48, somewhere in that zone. It can definitely move down. So everyone who's investing in Tesla, just be careful, be patient. Apple, same thing going on here. Apple. We have a weekly sell. These columns are moving down. This might be a bottoming point. We don't know. But again, as I said before, the cheap can always get cheaper. We're going to look at the daily. The daily's issuing a little bit of green. So technically, you can buy. You can buy Apple. This might be a good point of exhaustion for Apple. But to me personally, I'm going to wait for confirmation, a little more confirmation. I want to see what the candles are going to do. Tomorrow there's a lot of important information coming out, so I don't want to see anybody over leverage themselves. Nvda, I actually was under the impression that it was going to come up, hit, tag around 132, 132 or so, or 127, but it failed to do so, and it now looks like we are rolling over on a daily time frame. Again, we start off with the weekly. We see where we're at right now. Even if you look at the monthly here, this is not good. We have really big red columns here on the Polaris Trend Indicator. It is not looking favorable at all. So if you go to a weekly, same thing. There's the same story right there. It failed to break above the previous week's high. Now we're moving right down. So I could certainly see this stock going to $101 to $103, somewhere in this zone. Again, the Polaris Trend Indicator is going to keep you patient. For those of you that just keep losing money, keep getting, your pants pulled down in the market, don't accept that. Don't accept losses. Be patient, because if you were trading over here when the Polaris Trend Indicator was showing signs of green, you would have been up 15%. It would have been incredibly hard for you to mess up a trade in that zone. It would have been almost impossible for you to lose a trade from here to here. So no matter where you put your money in, this Polaris Trend Indicator was going to move up all the way to the point where it got exhausted, and then here we are in another correction, and it looks like we're going to move back down briefly, and you want to pick up shares when this thing turns around. Amazon, let's move back to the weekly. Amazon is not looking good, but as you can see, we've hit my zone here in which this is highly discounted. Amazon looks like a pretty good buy. I would honestly, you could see Amazon retrace back to 185, maybe 194 in the zone. I do like where it's at currently right now, $190. This is a great buy, great discount, but I don't want to tell you to enter yet because my indicators, my signals haven't hit on the weekly. Let's check the daily real quick. Yeah, we're also falling on the daily as well too. But what you do want to look for tomorrow morning is maybe some good data comes out, crosses 193, 158, somewhere in the zone, and then pops right back up. This could potentially be a long hold. This is looking very good. Amazon is looking very good. Weekly basis on Google, this thing is just absolutely falling. We're hitting an order block right now. 160.51. It's a pretty attractive zone to buy. Let's see where we're at on the daily. It's actually still spilling down. So we could potentially hit 148 to 152, somewhere in that range, or even down to 120. So just be careful. But it all depends on news tomorrow. Don't hold shares overnight. If you bought bottoms, maybe hold half your position. Just be very careful. Dollar cost averaging in is always the best way to go, and you want to stick to that. So Meta platforms. Meta, I bought an amazing short up here at 176.87, somewhere in the zone where this particular stock showed signs of weakness, and haven't released my shares yet. That is currently one hell of a trade for me. I bought a lot of options going down. It's a 21% dump. So I've made some money on this, and you should have too. If you caught this, especially if you own the Polaris Trend Indicator, you would have been absolutely great here. But let's go to the daily time frame, also showing signs of negativity. 169.73 to 160 is my target. That is where we've hit resistance a number of times. Sorry, not resistance, but support. We've hit support a number of times, bouncing kind of off of here. But as I said again, like we're in an order block right now. The cheap can get cheaper. It can go down to the 440s or so. But I don't think that's not reasonable. I don't think it'll happen unless if there's some serious market correction. But Meta's looking like it's primed to run, especially on good news for a little while. Microsoft is doing kind of the same thing, making its way down, touching into an order block. This is currently in my discounted zone that I think is a good buy. But if we go to the daily, I'm not putting any shares in here because we are showing negative pressure. We're showing a red column. Now, let me make this very, very clear to you. If you own the Polaris Trend Indicator and you're waiting for my live streams every week, you may miss some of these signals and it might be too late. At the end of the day, you might get a late entry. I think if you get the Polaris Trend Indicator, it's $29 a month. You can't fail. For $29 a month, you can make that trade up in 2 seconds. If you put a few dollars on, Microsoft and got a 2% run, right there, you just paid for your month subscription. So this indicator is definitely worth its weight in gold. So we are moving over to Sofi. I love Sofi. I think it's a promising company. I really want this thing in the $9 to $10 area. I honestly think it can go from 10 to 974, somewhere around there. We're currently showing bearish pressure on the weekly. It's going down, and we're showing a little bit of positive strength here. I personally, as you can see, I have a small trade on this. I'm up 600 bucks. It could certainly bounce from here, but I bought at the lows. I bought over here when the stock crossed up. And the Polaris Trend Indicator gave me my confirmation. I bought at 1132. It can continue to go up, but honest to God, here we're going to wait for some positive news here. It can certainly hit 1030, 971. I'll put I will keep my eye on this particular trade. I'm not guaranteed it's not going to go down tomorrow, but if you already bought in, you can hold. Weekly time frame, Palantir. A lot of people like the stock Palantir. We're currently in a correction on the weekly time frame here. Daily, not looking so good. As you can see, we got a sell indicator. These things can flip pretty quickly, but as you can see, this is a daily time frame. I want to see more positivity. I want to see these columns build. I want to see a run like this that we had back here. As of right now, we got a short little pop-up. And today you would have released some shares, maybe half of your position, but ultimately I think this stock can either hit $83 or somewhere in the $55 range. SMH, semiconductors. Let's go to the weekly. Let's see what we're doing here. We're still moving down. These columns are getting a little bit bigger. So I definitely this is definitely showing some promise. Same thing with Nvda, but this can go down. The cheap can get cheaper, as I said. We had a little pop up here. We're hitting some resistance up here at 226.71. This stock can certainly tomorrow. I wouldn't say this is either a hold if you bought at the bottom, or I would say wait and see till tomorrow if you get a major pop up. But this thing can hit $200 to $198. That's my next level because of the order block that's sitting there, and it's probably not going to go too much lower than that. But anything can happen. U.S. oil. I do like looking at oil. Oil is extremely volatile. The Polaris Trend Indicator works on the best on volatility. I tend to trade, TQQ and SQQ versus the Qs in general. So that makes a lot of sense because we get these big swinging moves, and I like the big swinging moves. I want to catch these like major runs up, because if you catch, say, this run up, that's a 14.75% move to the upside. You want that. And if you're playing short, you want this move that's 13.60% going down. This indicator gives you really clear signals to buy and sell. As far as U.S. oil goes, we could certainly go cheaper from here. I'm thinking somewhere around 53, 66, 65. If you look at 65 in the longer time frame, it's been an area 64, 65, 61, somewhere in this range. These are really, really dire areas for this thing to turn around. And if it doesn't turn around, it's going to get a little dicey. Let's go to Bitcoin. Let's not waste too much more time. I have a short on Bitcoin, as you can see. Depending on what the daily's doing, I'm just going to ride it down for a little bit. I want to see where this goes, but I really do believe that we can hit 60,000. On 60,000, I'm going to be looking at 67 and 64, but I certainly think this thing can turn around and go to the downside. Ethereum, same thing. Showing a lot of weekly negative pressure. This thing's been dumping for a while. We're in a bearish trend right now, or a corrective trend. This can certainly hit 1,700, 1,500, or 1430, 1264. Daily's not really giving us any type of love here. We're definitely going to move down, but we are moving into a discounted zone. So anything around or under this is a good time to start dollar cost averaging in. So everyone, thank you very much. I know this is a quick live stream, but I'm going to be continuing to do this every day. The Polaris Trend Indicator by Ticker the Trader. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to grab the Polaris Trend Indicator. You can read all about it, how it works. You can see how I'm using it. You can watch my live streams, and if you catch on to this, you'll see that this thing works. It's very, very potent. And if you click right down here, all I ask that you do is sign up for your subscription, leave your TradingView name attached to that, and I'll give you full access to this indicator, the Polaris Trend Indicator. Absolute darling of an indicator. It will beat any other indicator on TradingView. So everyone, thank you so much for the live stream. We can go lower, we can go higher. I'm not really worried about news. I'm just worried about the signals that the Polaris Trend Indicator gives me. And if you follow the trend, you're going to win every single time. Guys, thank you so much for your time, and